Morning, Facebook world. Happy Wednesday. So excited to talk to you guys today. If you've been following along this week, we've had a theme going on what are the investments, what are the spaces, the places inside of our lives and our business that we want to invest, but also this theory of where am I still playing as an amateur and where do I need to turn pro? And whether you've answered both questions, whether you know where you want to go, there's an underlying theme that I want to get across today. And that's this idea of whether it's running a successful business, entrepreneur, solopreneur, you have 5 employees, you have 100 employees, whether that means inside of life, whether it means being a great husband, a great father, a wife, a mother, whatever these are all strategic endeavors that you need to have a plan for. And the common underlying theme that I see is that the plans for most people are very, very loose if they're in existence at all. So what can we do to begin to overcome that? See, when I start thinking of a plan, I start to identify the timeline in which it is that I want to get results. We're in the middle of Q2. It's actually 72 days left in Q2 as of today. So I have a plan on the work that needs to be done for today, for next week, for the next month, all the way through the quarter that then aligns to my annual, that then aligns to my 3-year and my 10-year. But see, most people, we are highly reactionary. We don't have that proactivity to make sure that we have a strategic plan in place. Now, does this mean that it always goes perfectly? No, of course not. The world is a crazy place. But when we take the time, when we set the ability to put ourselves into a strategic position, whether it is running that successful business or whether it is living a fulfilling life, whatever those two things mean for you, then you can start to ask yourselves question of where do I invest time, energy, and money? Where is it that I need to become pro, that I'm only an amateur in what I do? And then with those general questions, we start to expose the real growth, the real potential inside of ourselves. And here's what I mean by that. If I ask you, where do you need to go from amateur to pro today? And you say, a couple people said accounting, a couple people said business leadership, a couple said, someone said long distance shooting, something I've never done, sounds really cool. Then the question becomes, well, what are the skills that I currently have? What are the skills that I need? And then the real tough one, will I actually ever acquire said skills, even if I have the time, money, energy, everything needed to invest in it? And then if the answer is no, okay, great. We can course correct accordingly. We can go and put the right people in place, put the right tools, put the right systems. But see, it all backtracks down to this one idea of how are you going about business and life strategically? How are you creating the successful business? How are you creating the fulfilling life with a plan? See, one of my favorite movie quotes of all times, obscure 80s movie with John Cusack, but without a plan, there can be no attack. And without an attack, there can be no victory. See, most people are walking around these days and we have a very, very loose plan if we have anything. And if we do have a loose plan, it is typically something straight out of a book or straight out of a podcast or something straight off the internet that someone else accomplished with, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there's no tweaks, no adjustments, nothing happening to make it personal to you, to make sure that it works inside of your business, that it works inside of fulfilling your life. So my question to you today is, what is the plan? What are you doing to strategically embark on the endeavors of running a successful business, building a fulfilling life? And if you don't have a clear answer, let's get into that discussion. I can drop you the one-page strategic plan we use for clients inside a business, which can also be used for life. I can point you in the right directions. You're talking about going from amateur to pro. There's a great book called Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield that's amazing in this whole concept. You're struggling inside of life and you want to just build some basic habits. We can do that. But see, it all begins with where am I going? What do I want? And what is the strategic plan for the endeavor ahead of me for a successful business and for a fulfilled life? So think about it today. What's the plan? Without a plan, there's no attack. And if you want to get what you want in life, in business, you have to be able to attack when you're ready. That's all I got for you guys today. Happy Wednesday. Get after it. I'll talk to you guys next time.